This month is all about modifications for the neck. So when we think about the neck, we want to really make sure that we're thinking about the spine as a whole, because what happens at the top affects the bottom, and what happens at the bottom or the middle or anywhere in between is affecting everything. So if someone is really restricted, you'll notice that if they go to turn their head, they might start to turn and then their whole torso turns. So if you are incorporating a lot of rotation into your class sequence, they might have a hard time with that, or maybe you are recovering from something. So I just want to talk about this week how we would modify kind of our neck warm-up for a neck issue. Some people have fusions, and a fusion, depending on what they've had, sometimes will make it so it's sort of like a block in there and they can't really move a lot. It's really neither here nor there. They're just not going to be able to rotate if they didn't have that, most likely. But again, it depends on what it is. Or they have arthritis, or it's painful, or they slept funny. I mean, there's so many different things. So I am sitting on a block. So if we're coming into, say, the beginning or the end or the middle of the class, I would, and this is something I would typically do at the beginning, but I would start with just some shoulder shrugs, just so that we're warming up, because a lot of times if someone has a neck issue, you kind of notice them hunching. So this will kind of just wake up those muscles. So instead of just starting off with, say, lateral flexion, we're just starting off with and we can just shrug and down, shrug and down. And then if that's starting to seem okay, we can just slowly start to roll the shoulders back. Some people roll them forward, which feels weird, but it feels kind of good. So whatever feels better to you. So we want to make sure that we're sitting up nice and tall, like we have a marionette string coming out of the top of our head, and it's going up, and we're nice and tall, and the marionette string is connected to the entire spine, and it's maintaining all the natural curves that should be there, but trying to maybe undo a little bit of a tuck neck or a forward head position. So we've rolled the shoulders out. So now we're going to pull the shoulder blades together, right? So we're retracting the shoulder blades, we're pressing them down. So what we're trying to do here is find length in the cervical spine. So if someone is really bad, and you can, I don't know if you can see that, but here like that. So basically you're going to have them kind of make a double chin and kind of lengthen out the back of the neck here. And so if they cannot move their head, but that's just one suggestion. So you have them, and you wouldn't hold it there for a long time, you just have it. We're pressing the chin back, right? So we're just doing some slight movements, which to me feels slight, but if my neck was really sore, it probably wouldn't feel so slight. So we want to make sure that we remember that as well. So we're lengthening here, and say someone can only turn this far, okay? That's okay. You have them turn that far and breathe into it. Or turn the other direction. Now, if there's pain, I would not do it. I would stop. So if someone has pain, you can do this with eyes open or eyes closed, but we just look that direction. So I am looking all the way over here, and then look all the way back the other way. If somebody has a neck issue, I would not do extreme extension or extreme flexion. Now, you don't want to do extremes in general either way. I'm kind of exaggerating it, but you don't want to make, trying to think of the best way to describe this. You don't want to make a line here, like a line anywhere in the back of the neck, because that's making those vertebrae go in a position we don't want them to go. So if it's all smooth, but if you see somebody, because when their head is all cranked forward, it changes that. And so if someone's head is further forward, see if I can turn and come down. If somebody's head is forward like this, and you have them look up, it's going to create a crease here. And that is not what we want. We want the head to come in line first. So it kind of depends on where you're at. And you'll notice the shoulders kind of go with the head. So that's kind of why I incorporate some of the shoulder rolls as well. And depending, sitting on a block might be helpful, or lifting a little bit. And so then for the side to side, the lateral movement, whoop, missing my block. For the lateral movement, we might just sit here and we might just tilt just slightly. We're not forcing anything. We're maintaining awareness of our shoulder muscles, but we're not forcing them down, because the shoulder's going to move up a little bit naturally if it's tight with the neck. So we go to what's comfortable. You know, you're going to be able to feel it, but you don't want to go so far that you're creating pain.